Hi, I'm Lisa Camper, Vice President at C. Myers Corporation.
And I'm Amanda Hoheimer, also Vice President at C. Myers Corporation. Lisa, you were sharing with me an article that you had read, and there was this idea of STP, and we started thinking about, do we have clients that maybe have an STP problem? And so I'd like for you to take a little bit of time and explain what that actually means, because I'm fascinated by the idea, and it's definitely something that we see with our clients. So can you share with us what your take on that?
Yeah, I would love to talk about that. It was really interesting because it resonated so well. It's something that articulates in 3 words what I think we see a lot when we work with clients, both on strategic implementation, project management, and also strategic planning as they decide on how the organization should spend some of their big resources in the coming year. So STP, put simply, is same 10 people. And every time I've had this conversation with clients since digging into this more, they give me that look of like, yep, I feel that. That is something that we feel as an organization, that we lean on the same 10 people to get projects done on a fairly consistent basis, and we don't broaden our horizons enough. And it causes resource bottlenecks. We know that it's hindering some of our talent development. We see it leading to burnout, and we also see it slowing the execution on our projects. So that's some of the problems that have bubbled up from relying too heavily on the same 10 people.
Yeah, it's interesting. I know with the clients I work with, I have often said to them, you need to expand the group of people that you're working on projects with. And while that next group might not be the best at project management, give them the space and grace to make some of those mistakes. And then at the end of that project, hopefully you've now doubled your project resources, and you can continue to move those really important strategic projects forward. Now, oftentimes clients are hesitant to take that step because they want to move faster and get these projects completed. But we've also reminded people that sometimes at the beginning you got to go slow, and ultimately that'll allow you to go faster in the end. So this, again, you said it and I said it, it very much resonated with us and all the work that we do with our clients. I'm curious, when you say the talent development piece, Lisa, what are some other areas from a talent perspective, in addition to the development side of things, that could possibly come out of this continued reliance on the same 10 people?
So the providing the opportunity to talent to develop themselves and try new things, hone skills that they really haven't worked on before is incredibly important because it provides diversity in the way that they're doing their jobs day in and day out, which we've seen lead to retention. So retention is a huge piece of, it's very expensive to hire talent, and people like to do different things, and they see opportunities like being involved in big projects or even departmental projects as a growth opportunity. They like to be included. It fosters buy-in in the organization. So really diversifying the pool of folks that you go to be involved in projects produces, I'll say, not only that, yeah, like you said, the talent development, but also that retention piece.
I think not only from those big strategic projects, including more people, also relates down to the departmental projects and those smaller things that they're involved with on a daily basis, that they can make better, more informed decisions, ask better and different questions from their experience on working with those projects. And that all helps lead to better execution overall on the most important strategic things for the institution.
Yes, start with some of those smaller departmental projects and really leverage that as a development pool to get a bigger, broader pool of folks to then develop into being able to support those strategic projects. There's always those things that are lingering in the background that you're like, oh, when we get time, when we get time, when we get time. Well, branch out, give someone the opportunity to work on that project and lead it and build those skills, and leave room for the fact that there's going to be failure, hiccups along the way, but you're doing it on a scale that, aligns with your risk appetite as an organization, and then honing those skills to build up a bigger pool for executing on even bigger projects down the line.
Lisa, you mentioned resource bottlenecks. What are some of the biggest bottlenecks that you see with having reliance on these the same 10 people across an organization from a project standpoint.
So it goes into the project selection side of things when you start to assign resources, and there's almost like an autopilot factor where people go on autopilot and they just assume who's going to be involved in a project because these resources have shown and they've proven themselves to execute and deliver on things in the past. And there's not the critical thinking or the questions asked of what could we do to actually broaden the pool of resources, because we know that using these same 10 people is going to cause friction, and they're just coming off another big year of projects, and now we're going to put them on all the same projects next year. They look exhausted. So what can we do to actually step back and get a little more creative on how we assign people to the different projects?
Mm-hmm. That's a good point. If you think about resources, most project resources actually have day jobs as well. Very few project participants or project team participants, that is their sole focus. And so trying to juggle completing their daily job with the project work can sometimes be incredibly challenging, especially using the same 10 people. So thinking about the daily juggle of project team participants who really truly have to balance a day job as well as project work. Lisa, what are some ways that we could help people really work through some of this as they start to involve other people that aren't regularly involved in projects?
A key piece of ensuring this broadening your horizon is successful and broadening the pool of folks is successful is providing the resources and the education to them. There's assumptions made that people, as they move up in the organization, automatically have these project management skills when they've not really spent time managing projects, being involved in projects. And so there's not enough focus on giving them the tools and the power for critical thinking when it comes specifically to projects to do that. So that would be a huge thing, is spending the time educating them on how does your project process work, spending some time on potentially sending them to different courses from an education standpoint to get more educated on it, especially from a stakeholder perspective, because what a project manager needs versus what a stakeholder in a project needs to deliver on is different. So making sure that the education that they're getting, the resources and tools, is for the level that they need to deliver at.
And I would assume as well that it is from a stakeholder, project manager, and project team participant perspective, having everybody speak the same language, using the same terminology, and being aware of the same process can help smooth that transition as you bring more people along on that project path and continue to build out that development.
Yeah, such a great point, is that common language. I think that's really, really important to hit on again, because project management can be scary. There's a lot of jargon that can be used and thrown around. And so just even calibrating on that front can change the game of what those conversations look like and the communication amongst the team and organization. So the idea of the STP, or the same 10 people, is something that we see as a common roadblock across organizations. The biggest takeaway here is what I'll say is, if you're feeling like your execution is slower on projects and you keep having resource conversations, building awareness that you may have an STP problem is a key conversation that needs to happen at the leadership level. So walk away with this as this is a great conversation starter for your organization to start bringing this to light and getting more creative on how to involve others in the organization and really developing that talent.